Good afternoon, everyone. Hey, this is Bruce Marshall from Simpler Trading with the nightly market update for Wednesday, May the 13th. And we had a pretty interesting turn of events today. We finally had a down day, and a pretty big down day, actually. We ended up here, as you can see, we're down 50 points on the SPX, and let's see, I'm looking here, about 500 on the Dow and about 60 something on the Nasdaq, 32 on the RUT. Big percentage wise, I guess more for the RUT, but anyway, we were I've been kind of, if you've been listening to the videos I've been doing lately, it's been the same. It's been the same thing over and over. Let me go out here to a 5-day chart and I'll show you. Matter of fact, let me go to a 10-day chart, because this is actually exactly what we've been talking about here. I've been looking and looking and looking at two levels: the 618 retracement from the high to the low, and this white line is a snow line. This is a voodoo snow line at 2940, as you can see right there. And then this is a 50% retracement. So we got 618 here and then 50% here. And we have been chopping in between those levels. And this was my kind of upper end target, was a snow line at 2940. Now we hit it here and got a little bit through it, 2954. And then here we hit it, and then pretty dramatically failed off of this. And let me go out to a little bit longer time frame here. Let's go to a 20-day. And again, you can see this is what I was doing. I talked about this in the video I did last week, if you got a chance to see it. These two levels again, the 50% 618. I mean, basically, we've just been doing big range bound chop here, which if you go out to the longer term time frame, and again, I'm on the S&P 500 here, and let me clean this up just a minute for you guys so it looks a little easier to see. Let's see here. So as you can see, I talked about this last week. I've been talking about it for a while. This is that snow line that I was talking about, expanded out. This is a 1-year chart on the S&P. And we have just been doing chop between this snow line and basically this snow line. So this one is resistance and this one is support. And as you can see, we have been chopping here for about a month. You see that vertical red line there and that vertical red line? That's 1 month. Or that's one expiration to the next expiration. There's some months, April and May, but one expiration to the next expiration there. So we've been chop here. And I've been saying this in the main room, and we've been talking about this for a while, that my feeling was that we were going to chop between these two levels for a little while, and it's going to duplicate this, and that's exactly what's happened. And what this is the market confusion going, okay, high to low to bounce, and typically you fail here, somewhere in this range you fail and come back down. Well, the market doesn't know if it wants to keep going or not, and I imagine the only reason we hung out here for as long as we did is because the Nasdaq actually just kept going, right? And the reason the Nasdaq was going is because the overall market is being propped up and dragged higher by a handful of mega cap stocks, tech stocks, and then a handful of probably mid cap or small cap, actually, kind of tech names that are the quote unquote coronavirus type stocks, that we have been looking at, the Shopify and Twilio. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, Zoom, for example, etc. So anyway, what will happen typically, and also I've heard a lot of the bullish side makes a case for come back up to the all-time high, the bearish side comes back down here to the all-time low, and probably what we get something in between. I think we chop here, and what typically happens, you break one way or the other. Here in this case we broke higher. In this case I think we break lower because of all the backdrop of what's going on with coronavirus. I think it's got a long way to go before it's smooth sailing again. And that being said, I would target my downside initial target there at 2650. Again, that's on the SPX 2650. And if you never trade the S&P, doesn't matter. The S&P is going to be the barometer for all of the market in general. So if the S&P is going down in general, the Nasdaq is usually leading the S&P actually, one way or the other. But the S&P is more broad-based than perhaps, like say, the NDX. And so that's what I'm looking for. I see very little reason to think we were going to break out to the upside and keep ripping higher without a lot more stimulus from the Fed, without a lot more great survival or drop in deaths and exposure and all that kind of stuff to coronavirus. And I don't know. There's no way to tell. So we got to be really careful and take this thing really day by day. So don't get too gung ho either way. I am super light on the trades. I have been for a long time, and it's been working very well all the way down, all the way back up. And I did a black swan class. Really, I think it was about here, somewhere right around here. I did a black swan class, kind of going over what happens in this kind of scenarios. And even that, I don't at the moment have a black swan trade like down here to take out this low or anything. I will probably add something, but it would be more of a lotto ticket kind of thing, because it will all depend on how bad things get, and we would have to have a second wave of virus and death, and bad things would have to happen. And so that being said, my first target is here on the downside. This would be my second target, and this would be my third target if we really start accelerating to the downside with some bad news. But I'm not, at this point, I'm thinking that's a very good possibility, but I'm not putting any money down there yet. I'm going to stick with target 1 and target 2 first. So again, I know I focus on the S&P, but that drives everything. So I hope this helped. Hope it makes sense. Keep some powder dry. We're going to be whipsawed back and forth out of left field for all kind of different reasons or no reason at all. Algos are pushing this thing like crazy. So be careful. Take your profits when you can get them. And just watch it and trade it day by day, really tight stops, and manage your size and manage your positions well. So I hope this helps. Thanks for the time, and I'll see you at the next update. Take care.